Hey guys, what's up? It's Dark here, and today we're going to be talking about Giyu, and Giyu specifically in the later arcs of the series, in the Infinity Castle, in the Sunrise Countdown arc, and what we're going to do is we're going to be pitting him up against some of the weaker upper moons. We're going to be talking about how he would perform if he replaced the Hashira that fought the upper moons earlier in the story. So basically, if Tengen was fighting Gyutaro, we're going to replace Tengen with Giyu. We're going to replace Muichiro with marked Giyu, give him the appropriate power-ups, give him the appropriate teammates. And I'm not alone today. I have a friend, one of my buddies, a shorts god. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello everybody, my name is Jason Star Prime, and I'm happy to be here, Darkworld. Thank you for having me.
First we got Upper 6, and this is where Tengen fights Daki and Gyutaro. And I think me and Jay agree that Daki gets clapped pretty quick. Tengen literally one-shotted her. I think honestly Giyu could probably beat her with his bare hands or something. So pretty much as soon as she comes out, she's getting beat.
Like immediately.
Yeah, immediately. She has no chance. She literally comes out, maybe starts laughing or something, and he just bare hand slaps her head off or something.
Once Gyutaro comes out, I think the situation would definitely go a lot differently, compared to Tengen. I think Giyu would definitely go for an attack and avoid the poison as much as possible, because again, nothing will touch Giyu, because he has really good defense, unlike Tengen in the story. Once we get to them being outside where Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Tanjiro are facing off Daki, I think Giyu would definitely be really good at fighting Gyutaro. I think once Gyutaro discovers that Daki is beheaded, I think Giyu will use Deadcom, and then boom, Gyutaro's done.
And something else that I was thinking about too is, even if Inosuke, Zenitsu, and all of them, even if they're not able to get Daki at the same time, if Inosuke is smart enough to take Daki's head with him and run, and he's a uneducated mountain boy, Giyu, this prodigy Hashira, is he not going to be able to think of something like that as well? So worst case scenario, it's bad for Daki and Gyutaro.
Yeah, and in the story, they said decapitating them at the same time would kill them. Maybe that's the case, but from what I've heard from within the story of the final battle, Gyutaro did say he was about to be beheaded, remember, by Tanjiro.
Right,
said,
right.
As long as my sister's head is intact, I'll be fine. Because Gyutaro was literally relying on Daki to have her head be intact in the final battle. While if he gets beheaded, he can just simply get his head back while he can go and try and help Daki. But no, that wasn't the case in the story because they both got beheaded.
Yeah, and something else with that too is, if one of them gets beheaded, it's not like they're instantly gonna reattach their head in 2 seconds. There's gotta be some downtime for them to grab their head or whatever. They're probably gonna be disoriented, if they get beheaded. So it's not there's a timer that goes off in 15 seconds. Oh, Giyu's gotta behead Daki in 1 second, or Gyutaro's just gonna revive or whatever. There's obviously some nuance to it, and they're not just gonna instantly reattach their head.
Yeah, they're not the Hantengu clones where once their heads get beheaded, they can just immediately regrow it.
When Gyutaro pops out of the shell, and he's paying attention to Daki, and Tengen tries to off guard her. If Gyutaro pulls any of that type of shit on Giyu, he's going to get killed immediately. He needs to be on full guard for this fight, especially if he has attacks that are on level with Tanjiro in the Infinity Castle. I just want to paint this picture for some of you, right? So the Tanjiro in the fight with Gyutaro, we see he's able to react to Gyutaro's Blood Demon art and save Tengen, and you might be like, okay, well, Inosuke and Zenitsu are reacting that too, but then we see he just blatantly dodges Gyutaro on the roof. He's able to evade one of his attacks, and then there's this one feat which is pretty crazy. He's able to keep up with Tengen's attack speed. Tengen goes to attack Gyutaro's neck, and Tanjiro's talking to himself. He's oh, okay, I need to stay relevant in this battle. I need to contribute. And he looks at Tengen attacking Gyutaro, and he almost catches up in attack speed. It's not very consistent that he's at Tengen level. No one's saying that. We're not making that claim. It's just Tanjiro is relevant enough to where he won't get instantly blitzed by Gyutaro. Like, he can still see his attacks. He can still sometimes react to him. He can attack almost on par with Tengen in that one scene. And something I wanted to talk about is he gets so many amps from this point forward until the point where he reaches like Giyu level, right? We look at the end of this fight, he gets the mark. And with the mark, he's basically able to overpower like Gyutaro's durability. After this, he gets the huge amp from experience, right? We see Mitsuri's like, oh, that's like 10 years of training surviving a fight with an upper moon. And then after that, he goes and is crucial in the battle against Zohanketen, and they end up beating him too. So that's another EXP boost on top of that. Like, think about like Pokemon, if you like a level 5 and you just beat like a level 50 or something, like he's just racking up massive amounts of EXP like over and over. And then he goes into the Hashira training arc on top of just the base stat increase from the Hashira training. And now, just now, after all those amps, he's at the level to where he's at base Giyu level. So all those stat increases and buffs, he was relevant enough to be kind of, you know, attack on par with Tengen. He gets all those amps, all those buffs. And there's even an argument, like I've seen some people say that he's like not even as strong as base Giyu, which I don't, do you agree with that, JSP? I think me and you both agree that he's very relative to Giyu in that arc in the Infinity Castle.
He is, because like he was able to keep Akaza's attacks in the Infinity Castle.
You know, Giyu's still able to react to everything Akaza's doing. He's not necessarily as strong offensively, but like we know Giyu's more of a defensive fighter. You know, there's even that statement. There's that statement where Giyu's talking to himself and he's like, "Wow, Tanjiro, you really are like as strong as a Hashira." And even that statement could imply, you know, like, oh, he's just now reaching my level.
Because like he was able to just react more to Akaza's attacks compared to like back then with Rengoku. Like he's able to like keep up with Akaza now.
You talk about all these amps, all these EXP boosts for Tanjiro, and that's kind of getting to base Giyu level, right? And base Giyu's still able to fight this somewhat suppressed Akaza. Like Akaza's definitely like strong still in this form. He's still using his compass. It's not full power, but it's still something very impressive, and the stat difference between him and Gyutaro is just so massive. So that's pretty much all we really have to say.
Different.
Yeah, it's like two different leagues, right? It's like so many leagues above characters like Gyutaro and Tengen, and that's kind of what inspired this video. Is I don't think a lot of people understand the power gap and the power cliff between like the Infinity Castle characters and, you know, characters earlier in the series. And that's when we get to Upper 5, Gyoko. And I don't know if you want to talk about this first, about why, if we put marked Giyu in here, it's just bad for Gyoko.
Oh, no, it is. Because Gyoko, like, he mainly relies on his pods to attack an opponent. And he done that with Marichiro and stuff, which Marichiro did get into the water vase, but, like, he got into the water vase because he almost cut Gyoko's neck. Like, he almost sliced it. And that led to the water vase attack. Literally,
Gyoko had to slow himself down to get off that attack. And Muichiro is still almost able to, like, cut his head, you know, in base. And this is also, like, a nerfed, like, no memories Muichiro as well. So, yeah, that just pretty much goes to tell you right there that memory loss, amnesia, Muichiro, if Gyoko tries to, like, pull out his pot and capture him, you know, Giyu's just even in base, right? And we're not really going to talk about base that much because we don't have to, because Muichiro does end up unlocking the mark. But even in base, Giyu's still able to react to everything Akaza does. If Gyoko's using an attack that slows himself down, you know, to capture Giyu, it's just not, there's no scenario where Giyu isn't able to hit him there and outspeed him. But it doesn't even really matter because he's going to get the mark. And marked Giyu is just blatantly very implied to be at Akaza's level. Now, the problem is that he doesn't necessarily have the stamina to keep up with Akaza's stats for very long, but that's not really gonna matter because if you have Akaza's stats, even if it's for, like, let's say 10 seconds, you're still gonna be, like, so many pegs above a character like Gyoko. You know what I mean?
Agreed, yeah.
And then Tanjiro's literally, like, monologuing as Giyu's kinda, you know, he has to, like, literally fight him solo as Tanjiro's trying to like figure out his abilities or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much, we got him cleaning up upper 6 and upper 5 pretty easily. It's something we didn't even mention earlier for upper 6 because we didn't have to, is Tanjiro squad's there just in case, if he even needs it, which he probably won't. So
exactly.
Now into upper 4, Zohakuten. I don't know if you want to start this off. If you want to talk about the clones, maybe. They're getting blitzed by this weaker Mark Tanjiro than the Mark Tanjiro in the Infinity Castle, you know?
Oh yeah, like each of the emotion clones gets soloed by Giyu very easily.
Yeah, Mark or not, right? Like even in base.
Yeah, in base, like he would solo them.
You know, there's a weaker Mark Tanjiro that's kind of blitzing them badly, and then a stronger Mark Tanjiro in the Infinity Castle is now kind of on Giyu's level. Even base Giyu is obliterating the clones, right? And once Zohakuten pops out, if he's in the same scenario as Tanjiro and them, you know, Giyu's just literally a direct upgrade over Mitsuri in every single way, you know, except maybe like a few weird stat outliers like flexibility or something like that.
And maybe even strength.
Yeah, maybe perhaps strength. Oh, and something I wanted to bring up that I was talking to JSP before the video about is there's this weird, like, crazy statement for Giyu in the Infinity Castle that I didn't really find out about until the other day, where Inosuke sees Giyu and Sanemi, like, clash with each other with the red blade, right? And he's like, oh, okay, I want the red blade too, but hey, Kano, Zenitsu, you need to be as strong as me to do something like that. So if he wanted to clash his blades with them, they would have to be as strong as Inosuke, who's saying this statement, for the red blades to appear. And that's pretty blatantly just saying like, hey, these two marked Sanemi, marked Giyu are kind of, you know, in the same weight class strength-wise. Maybe not necessarily in reaction or pure combat speed or anything, but in terms of just like raw strength, you know, if Giyu's like in raw strength compared to something like that, even Mitsuri, who has like this super mega Hulk cells level of strength, Giyu might even be stronger than that, you know, based on that statement.
Me love strong women.
You know, something else that we saw is in the Infinity Castle, Giyu is just blatantly doing better than Mitsuri whenever they encounter Muzan. And now it is base Mitsuri, but the important thing to note is Tanjiro goes to save her, and this is the same Tanjiro we had compared to base Giyu. So by multiple levels, you know, you could have base Mitsuri in the Infinity Castle, then Mark Tanjiro, and then base Giyu, and then Mark Giyu, and then Mark Giyu is also like helping out that Tanjiro that's saving her. So there's just levels to it, right? And if you put base, or not base, but marked Giyu in the same scenario that, you know, Mitsuri was in, there's just no way that he doesn't do what she does or better, you know?
Once he unlocks the mark in that situation, like, he's faster than Mitsuri, so like he will be able to like avoid a bunch of Zohakuten's like dragon attacks. So
yeah, and we literally see base Mitsuri roll up, and you know, even if it's not for long, she is still able to react to a lot of upper fours abilities and stuff, even in base. So, you know, you put a character like marked Giyu in there, and you know, they're getting the dub, is basically what I'm trying to get at. That's really about it. We just kind of wanted to go over, like, alright, what if Giyu was in the shoes of these other Hashira and stuff earlier in the story? He pretty much stomps all of them, but like upper 5 marked, it's just not close. Upper 6, God forbid, you know, it's terrible.
Like low diffs,
yeah, like low diffs. Zohakuten, he should win a little bit more comfortably than how Mitsuri did. I want to thank Jay for coming on and doing this video with me, talking about it. He was great in this process. Go check out his shorts channel. He's doing a lot of cool stuff with Demon Slayer. I think he's got some JJK stuff coming up. Appreciate you guys for watching, and peace.
Bye-bye.